You're lying completely still inside a narrow tunnel. And then it starts. Banging. Clanging. Loud, rhythmic knocking, so close to your head it feels like someone is hammering on the machine from the outside. No cutting. No radiation. No dye injected into your veins. Just a magnetic field so powerful it can see every organ, every tissue, every nerve in your body, in perfect detail. Here's what's actually happening inside that machine. Most people assume MRI works a bit like an X-ray. Invisible waves pass through your body and create a picture on the other side. But MRI has nothing to do with X-rays. It doesn't use radiation at all. What it uses instead is something you already have inside every single cell in your body. Something so abundant and so fundamental, that scientists were able to turn it into one of the most powerful medical imaging tools ever invented. Water. Your body is about 60% water. An MRI uses that water to take pictures of you from the inside. To understand how, we need to start with hydrogen. Water is made of hydrogen and oxygen. And hydrogen atoms have a very specific property: their nucleus spins. Like a tiny spinning top, constantly rotating. Normally all the hydrogen atoms in your body are spinning in random directions. Complete chaos. No pattern. But when you slide into an MRI machine, something dramatic happens. The machine generates a magnetic field roughly 30,000 times stronger than the Earth's own magnetic field. And the moment that field switches on, every hydrogen atom in your body snaps into alignment. All spinning in the same direction. Like a million tiny compass needles all pointing north simultaneously. Now here's where it gets clever. The machine fires a precise pulse of radio waves into your body. These radio waves knock the hydrogen atoms out of alignment, they wobble, like a spinning top that's been nudged. And as they snap back into alignment, they release a tiny signal. A radio signal. Their own little ping. The MRI machine detects those pings. Thousands of them. From hydrogen atoms all across your body. And a computer maps where each ping came from, and how strong it was. Different tissues in your body contain different amounts of water. Fat has a different water content than muscle. Muscle has a different water content than bone. Healthy tissue has a different water content than a tumor. So different tissues produce different signals. And the computer translates those different signals into different shades, building a detailed image of everything inside you. Slice by slice. Layer by layer. Without cutting a single thing. Now, the banging. That terrifying noise you hear inside an MRI machine? That's the magnetic field being rapidly switched on and off. To build a complete image, the machine needs to take hundreds of measurements from different angles. To do that, it rapidly pulses the magnetic field, switching it on and off thousands of times per second. Each time the magnetic field switches, metal coils inside the machine flex. And that flexing creates the knocking sound. The louder the banging, the faster the machine is working. That sound isn't something going wrong. It's the sound of the machine thinking. You're essentially lying inside a giant camera, and the shutter is clicking thousands of times a second. And here's the part that genuinely amazed me when I first learned this. MRI can detect a tumor as small as 1 millimeter. It can map individual nerve pathways in the brain. It can show blood flowing through your heart in real time. All from hydrogen atoms. All from water. All without a single X-ray. Here's a number that puts all of this into perspective. Over 100 million MRI scans are performed worldwide every single year. That's roughly 3 scans every single second, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And each MRI machine consumes as much electricity as 26 four-person households, running continuously. But perhaps the most remarkable fact of all, the first ever MRI scan on a live human patient was performed on July 3, 1977. Less than 50 years ago. Before that, if doctors needed to see inside your body, they cut you open. In less than half a century we went from surgery being the only way to look inside a living human, to a machine that does it silently, safely, and in perfect detail. Using nothing but the water already inside you. Here's something most people never think about when they're lying in that tunnel. MRI machines don't just take pictures. The most advanced ones can watch your brain think in real time. This is called functional MRI, or fMRI. And instead of looking at structure, it tracks blood flow. Because when a part of your brain activates, it needs more oxygen, so blood rushes to that area. fMRI can see which parts of your brain light up when you look at a face, hear music, feel pain, or make a decision. We can literally watch a human thought happen. But here's the thing that puts all of this in perspective. MRI was invented almost entirely by accident. Raymond Damadian, an American physician, was studying cancer cells in the 1970s and noticed that cancerous cells retained water differently than healthy cells. He wondered if a magnetic field could detect that difference from outside the body. He built a machine in his lab. His colleagues thought he was wasting his time. Grant committees rejected his funding applications. On July 3, 1977, after years of work and rejection, he and his team performed the first ever MRI scan on a live human being. The scan took nearly 5 hours. Today the same scan takes 20 minutes. And it saves millions of lives every year. From a rejected idea to 100 million scans a year. In less than 50 years. So next time you slide into that tunnel and the banging starts, remember what's actually happening. A magnetic field 30,000 times stronger than Earth's is aligning every hydrogen atom in your body. Radio waves are nudging them out of alignment. And as they snap back, they're sending tiny signals that a computer is assembling into a detailed map of everything inside you. No radiation. No cutting. No guessing. Just water. Magnetism. And mathematics. A machine that was rejected, ridiculed, and almost never built, now performing 100 million scans a year and showing us things about the human body we could never see before. That banging noise you were so afraid of? That's the sound of one of the greatest inventions in human history doing its job. That's it for today. Drop a comment. Have you ever had an MRI? What was it like? We want to know. If this made you think, subscribe, because we explain something new every single week. Now you know.